Alright, so I have not made a video like this in a while. I have not shown my face in quite a while. This is who I am. This is your forecaster behind this web Twitter page over here. I am Joseph McMahon. You can call me Joey, my nickname for short. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down my winter forecast that I created. Now, I know a lot of people think, well, you know, you're a young kid, you don't even have a degree yet. Here's the thing about that. I want to just explain to some people. I have been trained by PhD affiliates since I was 14 years old. When I was 9 years old, I was reading at a college level meteorology. A paper is a prestige, but knowledge is an acquisition. Do you know how many master's degree holders, bachelor's degree holders I've proven wrong before? A lot. And another thing I also want to touch base on, I feel like a lot of people mistake prideful and confident people as cocky. Cocky is basically saying that I'm the best meteorologist in the world, no one's better than me, this and that. But if you're just acknowledging, you know, your accomplishments, you're advertising yourself to people. You're giving people an impression because it is good to be humble. Yes, I will help anyone whenever. But you have to advertise yourself out there, because if you're too humble and too modest of a person, you're going to get walked all over and stepped all over. No one's going to follow you if you think that you're afraid of everything. You have to have backbone in this industry. And, you know, I've taken a lot of criticism, bashing because of that. And I just have one thing to say about that. I don't really care, honestly, because by you doing that, I mean, you're making my Twitter explode. People are acknowledging and seeing that I know what I'm talking about, and you're basically, it's me indirectly using you to get publicity for more Twitter followers. Now, I'm sure some people may not approve of what I'm talking about, but it's the truth. I mean, no one's going to come out there and hold your hand and go, here, do this, do this. It doesn't work like that in this world. You have to have backbone. You have to have a craftsmanship and leadership. And I'm just going to say this right now. It is okay to be confident. It's okay to take pride in what you believe in, what you know. It is okay to talk about that. Because I feel like a lot of people mistake bragging, which, again, basically saying that you are the best meteorologist in the world. And if you look up the definition of bragging, bragging is basically talking about something that you don't do, you don't have, you have not achieved. If you look it up in business layman's terms. So if you accomplish something and you're bragging about it, okay, you're advertising yourself. You are not bragging, and that word is very skewed. So aside from all of that over here, we're going to go back to this over here. All right, so I love to use my pictures as a review on my Twitter page. And like I said, if you guys need help with anything, you want to be taught, trained, learned, whatever, it's perfectly fine. So my bio, you know, people have seen my bio before, and even I've gotten constructive criticism for that, but they can't even tell me the difference between you're and you are. I mean, uncolated is taught, teach. Like, if you know your terms, I'm not doing anything bad. But let's get to the serious stuff over here. So this is my winter forecast that I made, and I'm just going to kind of break down the key real quick and kind of some things I've been reviewing. Alright, so we're going to jump right into it. So basically, there's more of this stuff loads over here. Good job. Okay, so basically, the red area, alright, I've explained to people thousands of times before, and not everyone is going to agree with me, but you can't really do much about that. Why I believe that this zone is a primary concern. So there's also a sharp cutoff over here, if you guys cannot see my mouse spinning around over there. And the reason why that is because of our sea surface temperature anomalies. Now, if we go over, I hope you do not pause my video. You know, you have to have like a sense of humor. You have to be yourself, because no employer wants to hire a robot. I will tell you that right now. No employer wants to hire a robot. My mentors even told me that. Alright? I mean, they've told me, even if another professional comes across and tries to belittle you, if you feel like that is injusticely wrong, they're wrong. So I'm going to go back over here and keep in mind that I pick my mentors very strictly. All PhD holders pretty much. I'm very strict about that. If they have like a master's degree, I mean, if you know what you're talking about, you're good at it, then that's understandable. But I am trying to get my own PhD and get my RS researching license to change a lot of things that goes on in meteorology that I do not see even actual meteorologists doing. So we're going to go back to this real quick. All right, I want you to take a look at this. Look at the SSTA anomalies. The ocean is practically on fire. So you see the Gulf Stream is truly active this year, and it's going to continue to become more active. You have a real hot spot right in this area over here, and it kind of cuts off right along, say, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So I articulated this into my forecast, and I accounted these SST anomalies, because if the storm is taking a benchmark track, or even if you have a couple inland runners or whatnot, these areas are going to get pounded one way or another, all right? So you take the match, and then I have a sharp cutoff right along the south of Maine, and the reflection, it's right there. So I have all my proof of what I put in my forecast. We'll exit out of that. We don't have to worry about that or anything. Actually, should I show you guys the proving current again? You know what? I will, because someone was trying to argue with me before saying that the proving current was weakening. I apologize that my computer is being a little slow right now. So, one thing I'm going to say, don't use SSTAs for dictating the Nina regions, because the deviations are so undetectable. There's no point of doing it. You have to take actual SSTs. Alright? See? Peruvian current, upwelling. You are displacing the warm surface water, and the trade winds are blowing it. It's going to look inverted. That way, right? Where the El Nino region goes that way. Alright? So their evidence is proven right there. So now I'm going to definitely get out of this, I promise. Or we're going to go back over here. So I'm going to move my ugly face out of the way. Then we have the blue areas, which basically is above average snows, but they're going to get a head start, especially if you're north and west of this red area. And then as we progress into winter, it's going to shift to the red regions, and when we have a real brutal Arctic outbreaks going on, it's going to focus in this blue area down here. So then the next thing, and going back to what I was saying before, it is okay to acknowledge your accomplishments. I did a winter forecast one of the years, I don't know if it was last year or the year before that. I was able to pinpoint an ice storm from Arkansas to Tennessee months in advance by using atmospheric recognition, atmospheric memory, and a bit of statistics. Basically, statistically, this type of setup will support this kind of storm in this area and this type of precipitation. So basically, this runs from South Central Virginia, interior North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. And if you notice, I have a big blob right in the interior deep south because this area is so susceptible to ice storms. So I laid that on the foundation over there as well. Basically, the areas in the light blue, it's going to be like a slightly below average in temperatures down in this area over here with deviations higher up over there, some snow, a little bit of ice mixing down over here. And the purple areas, you guys are going to have a almost snow drought for most of the winter. From your departure from normal, I'm not saying you're not going to get snow. You're just not going to have as much as you usually would. And as our nor'easters come across the Gulf of Mexico, you have a warm front over here. Cold front drops down like this, bringing unstable air, and this gray area is dealing with severe weather. Point blank, very simple. The subtropical jet stream will get active in these green areas, allowing storms to go up the coast. If you guys have not checked out my mentor Larry Cosgrove's winter forecast, please do. Hallelujah, it is amazing. So we're going to go back over to the west coast over here. And this area is going to start off with the rain and snow, but it's going to get dry very quickly, and I expect that drought to persist probably as we go into spring as well. I have my key also laid out over here. I will once again move my ugly face out of the way. I just wanted to basically go over that And in about 1.5 to 2 weeks, you're going to have a pattern flip at 250 millibars. Just a reference note, your jet stream is at 250 millibars, your vorticity is at 500 millibars. So if you try to come and have an argument with me on that, then you're wrong. So I'm basically trying to help you with this right now so I can avoid that conflict down the road. Alright, I think I pretty much covered everything. Also, I hope people out in Tornado Alley last night did okay, because you guys got rocked with tornadoes. Like, a lot, and they were mile-wide monsters. So, you guys stay safe. In a couple more weeks, we're gonna flip into a more transient cold shot pattern, but not the full-blown storms yet. I think you really would have to wait. I would say, as we get closer to January, we'll have a little bit of a tick increase after the middle to late December. But I mark my words when I say this. Once we get to New Year's on December, these models are going to be printing out storms. I mean storms. Fantasy storms. Storms that will actually happen. Okay? So keep an eye on the models. Remember, it simulates the weather. It does not 100% accurately predict it. When I was lecturing Dr. Claire Condi's class, and I thank her so much because this professor taught me things that meteorologists don't even know about. She taught us about oceanography, geography, like all this stuff that meteorologists never really look at. So Dr. Claire Condi, thumbs up for you. Thank you so much. You are the best professor ever, and I am going to go now. All right? You guys have a great night.